Backlink Hurricane video number 9. We're going to talk about building a farm network now. First, I want to tell you building a farm network isn't for everybody. It's not for beginners. It takes a good amount of time, an investment in money to build up a good network. This is something you can do as you grow and become more experienced and are able to reinvest your earnings in more domains. You also need to know this is kind of gray hat. It's not black hat. It's definitely not white hat. But it's something a lot of people do, and it's a good way to be able to build quality links to your money site. By building a network of blogs, personal pages, subject pages that are somewhat related to your money sites that can provide good links to them and pass on link juice. How much time and what kind of a financial investment it takes is really kind of up to you and how involved you decide to get into it. This can be anything from just a few sites that you work on to having a huge network of 100 or 200 sites. The sites you build and have in your network, you want to mostly have general topics. You're going to want to have sites from all over the place. You can use Blogger blogs. We talked about free blog hosting and all the options there before. Use Squidoo, Hub Pages, sites like that. One of the things you're really going to benefit from is to take the time to find aged domains to put into your network. In one of the tool videos, we're going to look at freshdrop.net and show you how to use that to find aged domains, and also archive.org to see what those domains had on them before. You don't want to get yourself a domain that's been involved with something shady in the past. Some of these aged domains you can pick up may have pretty good PR. That PR may or may not transfer. Probably it won't, but if it does, just consider it a bonus. We can use archive.org to check out the history of those pages and see if you can actually find out an archive version of what was on there before. As you're building your blog network, finding domains with personal names in them is a great way to get domains that have been around for a while that are aged. You're going to find lots of aged domains with personal names in them. Look for things like franksmith.com, bettyloujones.com, things like that may have been used as personal blogs in the past. A lot of times people buy these names thinking they're going to do something with them and build a personal site, and they just never do, and they let them go. But then you can benefit by catching them after they've aged for a few years. You want to use these sites like a personal diary. You can use the names like a pen name, like you would on the article directories, Ezine articles, things like that. You'll want to write about anything and everything. Really, just keep it free, keep it loose, keep it like people write on their personal diaries and their personal blogs. Hey, I went to the game today. Hey, I opened up a new bank account, rah, rah. And of course, sprinkled in there, you'll write about things that are related or really semi-related to your money sites that you're going to link to. You want to try to relate the content somehow. For example, if your money site is about Forex, write on one of your personal domains about how you tried out a new robot or a Forex book that you read. When you're building your do-follow links, anchor the name of the site. The comment approval is going to come a lot easier than if you use some big long-tail conglomeration or something. Getting these do-follow links to your farm sites is going to build link juice for those. You want to work on building the PR of your network sites, and that way your network passes on link juice to your money sites. One of the advantages of all this is you can build a large network of aged sites that have good PR. It's not too hard to get, PR 4 or 5 on a lot of these sites. And of course, the age of the sites is one factor that really works in your favor. You want to keep the site somewhat related, but much more general. Like, if you're not using a personal name site, you can use a site that's about finance rather than something specific like Forex. I'm not going to kid you, this does take quite a bit of time, but it's easy to do on the side if you just do it here a little, there a little. And a lot of people find out that they really enjoy doing this after they get the hang of it. And here's where it all comes together and really benefits you. Eventually, you're going to have a lot of sites where you control exactly what happens on those sites. You don't have to deal with a webmaster that doesn't want to give you a link. You don't have to take the time even to contact them and find out. You want a link? You just go, make a link. A couple things to consider here. There are some things that can come back and kind of bite you and make you end up losing a lot of your hard work. The big thing here is you want to spread your sites out. Okay? You want to use, as much as possible, different C-class IPs. Just to explain that a little bit better, I've got an example here. If your IP is 174.120.175.15, that third set of numbers, the 175 in this case, is your C class. You want to, as much as possible, have your domains hosted on different C classes. Squidoo most likely is going to have a different C class than WordPress. You don't just bunch things up and have all Blogger blogs and all WordPress blogs, things like that. Spread them out. You can even go as far as using different hosting companies. Maybe host 5 or 10 sites on one company, 5 or 10 on another, 5 or 10 on another. It depends on how far you go. Some hosting companies even offer multiple C-class hosting, which basically means that even though you're with the same company, they're hosting your sites on different servers with different C-classes, and that can really be to your advantage too. You might want to look into that. And I already mentioned that you don't want to have them all bunched up, all bloggers. Don't do 20 or 30 blogger blogs, okay, or 20 on WordPress. Have a couple on Squidoo, have a couple on Blogger, have a couple on WordPress. Have a couple on your own hosting. Do it like that. Basically what this does is it makes things a whole lot more difficult to detect that you are behind all these sites and that you're, kind of serving yourself here. A couple more things. You don't want to put ads on these sites. No affiliate links either. And above all, don't put any AdSense on them. If you've got AdSense on your farm network and on your money site, Google's going to be able to tell who owns them, and they're going to be able to sniff out your network very easily. And that can end up costing you a lot of work. You might get your AdSense account shut down, and it's definitely going to affect your rankings. Okay, site interlinking. We need to talk about that. Occasionally, it's all right to interlink your sites. Okay, if you do any interlinking, make them fairly random. But as a general rule, don't go linking every site you own to every other site you own. Okay, basically that just creates a big web that anybody with a little common sense can look at and go, yeah, okay, he owns them all. Easy to figure out. Okay, and if a person can figure out, we know Google's going to figure it out, right? You want to mask your footprint as much as possible and just make it a little more difficult to detect that your sites are linked together, the ones that are. You can also use intermediate sites if you choose to, which is having 2 layers of farm sites. Here in this example, you've got your farm sites, then you've got those linking to intermediate sites, which they're linked to your money site. That just covers up your tracks a little bit better. Creating a farm blog can be a lot of fun. It's pretty long term. If you get into doing this, you may be doing this a very, very long time. A lot of people find that they really end up enjoying it. Managing it can be a headache, but it doesn't have to be so much. You just want to make sure that you keep good records. You can use Microsoft Excel, spreadsheet program of your choice to keep track of what domains you've got, all your login information, kind of what you've got going on with your sites. I'll mention as far as logins, RoboForm for me is a must. I've got so many logins, there'd be no way I could ever remember them. RoboForm's definitely a lifesaver. Okay, and just for a quick recap, just want to remind you that building a farm work does take a good amount of time to do. It's pretty labor intensive, and it's definitely not for everybody. Key points to remember: you want to find age domains as much as possible. Keep your sites general rather than specific. You want to spread things out to cover your footprint, make your network less detectable, and maybe, above all, stay organized and have fun doing it. And you can reap the benefits from your network for a long, long time.